Hello, this video is to learn about navigating Discovery Education, which we will use for a lot of our science curriculum. To start, make sure when you go to Discovery Education, you use the Poudre School District link. You cannot just Google search Discovery Education. Your login credentials will not work. You can find the link on Blackboard, on the Blackboard homepage, on the Poudre School District homepage, and you should bookmark it so that you can always just go straight to that one. When you get to the home page of Discovery Education, it'll look somewhat like this. You can open the science textbook from here, or if you click over on the side, you can open the science textbook from here. I'm clicking and opening it now. At the top of the textbook is where you can change between grade levels. It tends to default to kindergarten if it's the very first time you've opened it up. But then once you've picked your grade level, it should stay there. Very occasionally you'll work in a different grade level. Sometimes 7th graders do an 8th grade unit, and 6th graders do a couple things in the 7th grade unit. But other than that, you'll probably be just in your same grade all the time. So I'm just going to take a look at 7th grade. It does have overview table of contents and academic standards for 7th grade that you can dive into, and it's linked to Colorado. And if you scroll down, it has all the different units, most of which we will read or cover this year in science. So I'm going to pick a unit. So let's look at photosynthesis. When the unit opens, it will open to the main page, which is the Engage tab. A typical week, you're going to be reading a chapter, which is Engage and Explore. You won't always go to Explain, Elaborate, or Evaluate unless I specifically assign that. So kind of typical kind of main assignment would be reading the Engage and Explore tab. As you read, you're going to want to take notes. The Engage section is usually introductory, so there might not be a lot to take notes for that. Let's see, I'm going to change that real quick. There might not be a lot to take notes in the Engage section, but still read it to get an idea of what you're getting into. And then when you read Explore, there's between 1 and usually 4 pages, so you want to make sure you read all the pages. The Explore section is where the meat of the assignment is, so you want to make sure you're taking notes as you're reading. If you see an image or a video, let me see if I can find one, embedded in the text, then I want you to watch that video and look at that image. We don't have one here, but it would be just right there. If there's videos in this gray bar at the bottom of the text, you're welcome to watch them, but I will, unless I specifically assign it, you don't need to watch them. Some of them are quite long, like an entire Mythbusters episode, so you don't need to watch it. In fact, it probably wouldn't be the best use of your time unless you have some extra time. So after you've read, you've taken notes, there are multiple sections where there are questions. So I'm going to go back to Engage. Under the Engage tab, you have these What Do You Already Know questions, and I want you to do them after you've read and taken notes. So then you'd answer this question. This one's just a drag and drop. So I would, if I thought carbon dioxide went right here, I'd drag it here. And then what's going to happen is after you put it all in, you're going to want to press Submit. If you do not press Submit, I will not be able to see it and grade it. If you press Save, you can save it and come back and work on it later, or maybe you want to save it and then have your learning coach check it over with you. That's fine, but I cannot see your answers unless you press Submit, so it'll go in as missing if you don't press that Submit, so just remember that. Then, you're going to keep going down to make sure you answer all of the questions. So this one has quite a bit. Those are the Engage questions. Then in the Explore section, there are also questions at the bottom. Not every page, but if there are questions, typically I'll have you answer it. Every once in a while, if it's I'll say skip a question, but it'll be really detailed in the announcement. Make sure if there's 2 tabs that you answer all the questions too. Sometimes people miss these second ones. If you want to check at the end, you're like, oh, I want to make sure I got all the questions done, there is the dashboard. That's this symbol right here. Looks kind of like maybe a calendar. When you open it, mine says teachers, yours will say student, and it'll have your name, and it'll have boxes for each of the questions you can answer. And you just want to make sure there's either a score or the words needs grading. If it's blank, it means nothing was submitted. Needs grading means it's written and I need to actually open it and grade your writing. And if there's a score, it was a multiple choice question that was auto-graded. And then this, again, just like the other ones, you can click between Engage and Explore to see your different questions. So that's a good way to check and make sure you submitted everything. Or if I tell you something's missing, that's how you can go and find what specifically you missed. This section called Explore More Resources at the end of Explore tab. Occasionally I'll ask you to go find something there. So I'll say go to Explore More Resources, and find maybe this reading passage called Plants and Photosynthesis. So that's what that section is. Explain is kind of about, is more of writing prompts, so we'll do some of these, but not very often. And Elaborate with STEM has bigger projects and articles. So there's STEM in Action, which is usually an article about something like a career, about someone who works in the field, in this case of photosynthesis. And STEM project starters, and there's 4 of them, are projects we may or may not do. Evaluate is the last section. Oh, this one doesn't even have anything in it, but it can have a test in it sometimes that I'll assign. This area up here, you can navigate between units. Over here on the right, you will have a section for assignments, and it'll also be on your main screen. Every once in a while, to make it easier for you to find things, I'll put it directly in your assignments, but usually I'll just have you find it in the text that we're working in. If it's a specific virtual lab, sometimes I will put it in the assignment. Other than that, if you have any questions about Discovery Education and you need more of a tour, please come meet with me on a Monday or a Wednesday and we can dive into it more together. Thank you very much.